if you've been on my channel and anytime watched probably any meal prep video that I have done, you know I love my Vitamix. And yes, there's other ones out on the market 100%. And do you need to have a Vitamix in order to go plant-based? Absolutely not. The Vitamix was one of the first things that I bought. And again, I use this every day for smoothies, for sauces, my cheese sauce. Oh, my nice cream. I can't live without my nice cream. You don't need a Ninja Creamy. You have a Vitamix. I'm telling you. And it is so well guaranteed for the first 7 years. You don't even have to keep your receipt because if something happens to it. Now mine now is 13 years old and I have had no problems with it whatsoever. My daughter had, I think, broke something on it and she called them and all she had to do was give them the serial number and they shipped her what she needed. So highly recommend a high-speed blender of some sort. Again, I love my Vitamix. And all of these appliances that I'm going to show you today, they'll all be linked down below. If you hit that link, I'll get a very, very small commission as I'm an Amazon associate. And I'd appreciate that, but it's totally up to you. Okay, next we're gonna move on to our Instant Pot or pressure cooker. Again, Instant Pot is a brand name. Mine happens to be an Instant Pot, so it just comes out of my mouth all the time, but a pressure cooker. These have so many great functions on them, and I am going to put my glasses on. I just need to, now unfortunately, mine doesn't have the yogurt, and I am really considering buying one that has the yogurt function on it because I've been watching all these videos where all you have to do is take a container of soy milk from Trader Joe's, one ingredient, just water and organic soybeans, and you can make yogurt in your Instant Pot. But I use it for everything. You know, when I'm talking about making my own homemade broth all the time that I use my scraps with, I put this in here, a couple of bay leaves, whatever, peppercorns, whatever I'm in the mood for that day, and I set it, forget it. Awesome. What else do we use it for? I cook all my beans in here, and I do all my beans from dry now. Again, budget saving. Cooking beans from dry is the best, and because of the pressure cooking of it, you actually don't have to soak your beans, which is such a time saver, and you don't have to worry about, oh, I didn't soak my beans, I can't cook that, I can't make that tonight. Just throw them in your Instant Pot. Probably like 40 minutes depending on the bean or what you're cooking, and then they're done. And I cook a big pot and then freeze them individually, just lay them flat, and once they're frozen I can stand them up in my freezer, and then every week I can just take whatever beans that I want. And again, we're talking pennies, pennies, pennies. I mean, I still have canned beans, don't get me wrong, I still have them either for emergencies, or my husband likes to buy the canned pinto beans. I could still cook pinto beans, but he likes his canned pinto beans, and that is because he likes to have the aquafaba. You can keep the aquafaba from your Instant Pot when you're cooking your beans. I only keep them for my white beans and my chickpeas. I find like darker beans, I don't want the color, right? So, and then all you do is you kind of simmer it down, you drain your beans, you take the liquid out, which is the aquafaba, but depending on how much you put in, you just need to, and you can just let it reduce to a little bit, and then your aquafaba will whip like eggs and everything else. I use it as an oil substitute, egg substitute, you can make meringue out of it. I like to use it to dip my vegetables when I want to bread them, instead of, obviously we don't use eggs, so I find that works the best. I make soup in here. I have my like 1 minute pasta recipe. I'll put that up here. That's an older one, but it's super easy. You just basically dump everything into your Instant Pot, you cook it for 1 minute, and you have, I call it like a goulash, is kind of like what I kind of grew up with. And that's awesome. And let me make sure I don't forget anything else. Okay, so this has a rice cooker. It also has a porridge setting. You could do eggs, you could saute. So that's what I like about is that, you know, with your slow cooker, which is what I've had for probably 30 some years, that's how I used to do all my stocks and everything. Just put them in the slow cooker at night, and then in the morning my stock was ready. But the only thing with a slow cooker is that things didn't really brown. So the great thing about the Instant Pot is that you can just use the saute function first. Saute your onions or whatever you want to help brown them and caramelize them first. And then you can just dump everything in and set it and kind of forget it. So, second thing I love, my Instant Pot. And just so you're aware, these are not in any particular order. It's just the way I line them up on the countertop, to be perfectly honest. The next thing I have is my food processor. And honestly, this is one thing I really can't live without. I love a lot of things with dates, and I don't think I've really tried the Vitamix, but it just doesn't blend stuff. I like making granola bars. I like making my little bliss balls and stuff. I like being able to do a large amount and make it easy. Also for date paste, oh my goodness, date paste, because you know I love cooking with that. Again, it just makes life so easy. I did have a cheaper one that didn't work very well. It was just more aggravating than anything else. And last year for Mother's Day, I asked my daughters for a good food processor. So I have the Cuisinart, and I think it's like, I don't know, 10 or 12 cup. And this works fabulously. You can, you know, julienne or slice your vegetables in it. That's like a huge time saver if you're doing stuff like that. And then it also comes with a different cap that you can just put it on when you're doing, say, your dates, your granola bars, you're mixing something, you're doing a cake recipe, whatever. It really does help. And I also use it for like nuts, you know, again, almost for anything. This is definitely a must. And I love mine. Do you have a food processor? Let me know down below, and let me know if you prefer your food processor or what brand it is and how good it is, like what you use yours for. Same thing with the Vitamix. Do you have a Blendtec or a Vitamix? Let me know down below. I'm interested to find out like who likes what and where all the stuff is. You know what I mean? So if you are trying to lose weight and trying to avoid oils, again, the air fryer is the way to go. And I have watched so many videos on all the things you can do in here. You can actually bake muffins, you can toast toast, you can toast sandwiches. It doesn't just have to be for fries or whatever. I mean, this baby, you know I am your potato queen. And this baby gets a lot of use when it comes to sweet potatoes and regular potatoes and all potatoes. And I do use it for that, but I also use it for so much more. And especially if you don't have like a big kitchen, or even I notice like in traveling, a lot of the places in the Caribbean and stuff like that where it's hot, a lot of places aren't built with ovens. So you only get a stovetop. So I have an air fryer because it just makes everything easy. It crisps it up, it browns it. Again, I make my onion rings, I'll put that up there. My dill pickles, I love crunchy dill pickles, you know, but no fat. You just use your aquafaba again, and you just dip them and then dip them in the whatever coating you want. Highly recommend. And again, look up some videos on all the things you can do with your air fryer, because I was just absolutely dumbfounded when I saw everything you could actually do in an air fryer. And just like one of these air fryers, which just has a basket, I think my next air fryer, I'd like to get one that has the tray. I think that would be nice. You'd have like more coverage and more that you could do more bigger amounts at the same time. Anyway, I'll link mine down below. Now, my next one is going to be super controversial, and I know that. because I can hear you guys. This is my rice cooker. And I can hear you guys already, like, I don't need a rice cooker. I cook rice in a pot. I cook rice in my Instant Pot. Okay, I agree. Up until a year ago, I did the exact same thing. I mean, growing up, my mom used to buy minute rice. And then, you know, obviously, like, I started making my own rice. But our friends actually gave us this rice cooker last year. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll take in a rice cooker. Like, why not? Like, one, you can make your rice and steam your vegetables at the same time, which I think is like also a time saver and a cleanup saver because it's all in one. You just measure your rice, you put in your water, you put your vegetables in, and you set it and to what you're cooking with, brown rice, white rice, whatever, quinoa, you can adjust. Again, super great. I have never had the most perfectly cooked rice before. I mean, and again, I used to try like the 2-in-1. I've tried baking my rice to cook it, to try to get it that light and fluffy that you get like at the restaurants. I was just on the failure bus. Again, like my rice was okay, but a lot of times it was a little gummy or, you know, it's perfect. So, I mean, if you are looking for something, and then you do like rice a lot, I highly recommend a rice cooker. And they're not very expensive. They're super easy. And again, if you have a small place, it doesn't take up a lot of room. This one comes all together and everything is stored inside, which is, you know, all the cords and everything. Super easy, doesn't take up a lot of room, has a handle, you can move it around. Great for kids going to school. And now for the last two items that I really can't live without, to be honest, is this microwave steamer. And this is fabulous because it actually has a little vent on it. Super great. Has the tray that you would, and has a thing. So you would put this in, put a little bit of water in the bottom, depending on what you're steaming. Put your rack in, put your frozen vegetables, your fresh vegetables, whatever you want to steam. You're just going to seal it up. Put it in your microwave and let it microwave until everything is tender. This is also great, like if you travel. I have a smaller one for traveling, so I can always, and I also have those potato sleeves that you can travel with, that you can put your potatoes in and throw them in a microwave and cook them. Those have saved me in a pinch a lot, especially like I love cooking like the sweet potatoes and bringing a little cinnamon or something. And then the last thing that I think almost every plant-based kitchen needs is a really good tofu press. This one I think is really good. So you have your tofu press, you have your container, this lifts right out. And you're going to lift it out. You put your tofu on it. You put it in your container. You're going to press this down against your thing. It's going to lock, nice and easy. And then you're just going to keep spinning it to make it more compressed. And it depends on what type of tofu you have. So, for extra firm, or super firm, you don't probably need that, but I do because I freeze mine, so when it defrosts, it still needs it to be pressed a little bit. But again, like some silken tofus or some soft or medium, this is great to get the most water out of it because that way you can put the most flavor into it. But the great thing about this one is you take that off, you take that out, you chop up your tofu and you put it in here, throw your marinade, and it actually comes with like a marinating lid. So to me it's like a 2-in-1. You're only using one thing and it's fabulous. Easy to clean, microwave safe, dishwasher safe, and again, you can shake it up. It seals really, really well, so you can shake it up so you can get that marinade all over. Tell me, do you have a tofu press? The one I first bought, because I had no clue, was the 2 boards that you screw. Oh, such a pain. But it worked, but it was like, now I've learned, because I do eat a lot of tofu. And you can actually probably use this to make tofu. And that's something I'm going to look at doing in the future, is making my own tofu. So I hope you can see how some of these items will make your plant-based journey much easier, much healthier. Don't forget to let me know, what was your favorite kitchen appliance, gadget, item? And if you got any value from my video, please give this a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and let's grow our community here and learn how to be healthy and lose some weight.